Hello my dear children, welcome to Rollipolli Mindful Art class. Today I'll be teaching you shading with a ball. Yes, so we will be using all the different shading pencils or sketching pencils. First we are going to test them out to see what they look like, how dark they are, what is their strength. Yes, and then we will move on to 3D shading of a sphere or a ball. So here I have my pencil box where there are so many different shading pencils. There is HB, 2B, so all the B pencils. Yes, we don't want to go into 4H, 2H or F. We want to go into all the B pencils. So HB, 2B, 4B, 6B, 8B, 10B. Some of you may have a different box. So after HB, some of you may not have 2B and you may have 3B, 4B, 5B. So sequence could be either odd numbers or even numbers. So what I have here is even numbers in multiples of 2. Yes, 2B, 4B, 6B, 8B, 10B. Then what is HB? HB has no number but H and B is there. So it is like treated as 1B. HB is the pencil that we use regularly for writing. Yes, and alphabet H here means hard. It is not only hard to break but it's also hard while we are scribbling. Yes. So I'm going to test out all the pencils one by one, starting with HB, then we'll go in a sequence to the next higher number. So I've written here HB and then I start scribbling with a light touch. So there are 3 rules when you do the shading. Number 1 is that you have to hold the pencil at 4 or 5 finger distance from the tip. Yes, when you're writing, you write like this. When you're drawing, you take a 2 finger distance. But when you want to shade, you have to go at least 5 finger distance so that the touch of your hand is very, very light on the paper. Yes, so the first rule is that you hold like this at 5 finger distance. Second rule is that you shade with a very, very light pressure. And the third rule is that you go in one direction when you want smoothness. So here with a light touch, in one direction I did HB, but I want to see the strength of HB, meaning how dark it can go, how light it can go, and what is the middle tone. So here I am scribbling multiple times without heavy pressure, creating multiple layers. This gives us the dark tone of HB. So what we have done is scribbled multiple layers. So around 15 to 20 times I have scribbled to create the dark tone, but there is no heavy pressure here, because if you put heavy pressure it gives you a dark crack. Yeah, so you don't have to even count 15 or 20, you just keep on scribbling in one direction to see how dark it can go. Yes, and then this entire thing is the light tone. Why am I calling it light tone? Because it's appearing very light, and this was scribbled entirely only one time. So when you do one single layer scribbling, that gives you light tone. Multiple layers gives you dark tone. And if you again scribble but slightly less, then that gives you the middle tone. So I'm putting here labels as dark, middle and light. Yes, like this we are going to test out all the pencils one by one. After HB comes 2B, so you have to go in a sequence. Now another important thing is, whenever you are using these pencils, when you pick them up and you're done, you should put it back in the box or compass box. Why? Because these sketching pencils or shading pencils are very delicate. If you leave them loose on the table and if it rolls and falls down, then the pencil gets damaged. If you pick up the pencil, it may not be broken, but inside it all the graphite lead will be damaged, and when we sharpen, only the broken points come out. Yes, which can be very frustrating. So you have to handle your shading pencils with lot of care. Now I am going to test out all the other pencils one by one. So first you are scribbling all the way down in a light touch and single layer, but when I am saying all the way down, it's just a small patch. We are doing a patch test here. This was 2B, then I want to test the dark tone and middle tone also of the 2B shade, 2B pencil. You go on doing this as dark as it can go without heavy pressure. So I'm going up and down, up and down, up and down, but only scribbling in one direction. and then I'll test out the middle tone. Middle tone comes with around 4 or 5 layers. Yeah, so dark, middle and light. Next I pick up the other number, higher number in sequence, which is 4B. So 2B, 4B, 6B, that way. But if you have 3B or 5B, then you're going to test out those as well. As we go higher and higher the number, more darker the pencil. Higher the number, more softer and delicate the pencil. Higher the number, more smoother the pencil. So when you scribble with high number pencils like 4B, 6B, 8B, 10B, they feel very, very smooth, not rough like HB. In fact, when you reach to 8B and 10B, you will feel it's like butter. It slides like butter. It's very, very soft and delicate, so easy to blend for smooth shading. Yes, that is 4B dark tone. So I'm now doing the 4B middle tones. For middle tone, you will put 4 or 5 layers. Light tone is single layer. 4B is also done. Next I'll go to 6B. So this way you have to test out all of your pencils. When you are scribbling, don't scribble loose like this. Scribble very close to each other. So this is entirely the middle light tone of 6B pencil. It's a bigger number, so it's already quite dark. But now I'll test the dark tone with multiple layers. Almost 15 to 20 times I'm scribbling in this patch. Then the dark tone will gradually move into middle tone. Middle tone has 5 or 6 layers. Yeah, so we are testing the highest strength, the lowest strength and the middle strength of all the pencils. So this was the middle tone and then the light tone. Next pencil is 8B. Where are the numbers written? Over here, right here. Yes. With light touch I am doing the single layer of 8B. Already quite dark, but now I want to test out the dark tone. Now in this part there is light, so it's shining, so you may feel it's not dark enough, but if I switch off the light, then you'll be able to see it. Let me just switch it off. Yes. Going up and down in the same part. So that's the dark tone. Then the middle tone with few layers, 5 or 6 layers, and light tone is always a single layer. Yeah, so 8B also tested out. Next I go to the last number that I have in my box, and that is 10B. If you don't have 10B, it's still fine. You don't have to worry. Up to 8B is also okay. Another important thing is these big number pencils like 6B, 8B, 10B, they are very, very delicate. So if the point becomes blunt and when you want to sharpen them, do not over sharpen. Don't try to make a very, very tall point. A small point is also enough. Even if it's not very sharp and it's blunt, it's still okay. Don't try to over sharpen as it may start breaking. And most people use just one HB pencil for shading, but it's very, very hard and you never get the smooth effect, and that's when children feel very frustrated. Yes, it can be very, very hard. They not only get mentally frustrated, but the hand starts paining. With HB pencil you can't build up the darkness. No matter how much energy you put in, it will still be very, very light and it will look very, very rough. So there's not only mental frustration, but also physically the hand gets very tired. So best is that you use all these shading pencils. Yeah, so we are testing right now, and then I'll show you how we create 3D shading for a sphere or a ball. Yeah, this is the darkest tone and the middle tone and the light tone. So I've tested out all my pencils. And now we are going to draw a ball, but before we draw, I'm going to show you one picture of a ball. If you see this ball, it's a thermocol ball, an actual picture. Yes, I'll show you with a pencil. So this is a ball which is kept on a table. Behind there's a wall. Now this part is the brightest part of the wall, meaning light is entering from here. Yes, it is entering from here and it is touching the ball. The first point of contact with the ball is over here. So this part is the highlight. You see, even though the entire ball is a white ball, this part is shiny white. Yes, it's like an oval shape here. This is the highlight of the ball. Yes, after highlight, when we come in this part, it's not as bright and white. This is the light tone. Like we have tested out the dark tone, middle tone, light tone of all of our pencils. Yes, so when we do the light tone, this area immediately next to the highlight, this is entire light tone. Yes, so light tone ends somewhere in the middle here. Yes, see, it starts here and it comes over here and ends somewhere in the middle. And then middle, we start with the middle tone. If you see the middle tone, this part of the ball is slightly darker than the lighter part. Yes, the shiniest part is here, that is highlight. So this is all the middle tone. Yes, after middle tone we come to this part, which is the darkest. Yes, this is the dark tone and it's like a crescent moon. But near the dark tone, if you see, there's a slight light area. That's where the bounce light is. What is a bounce light or reflected light? The table is also reflecting a light. Yes, that light is coming over here. Yes, I will show you more closely when we put it on our picture. Yes, but over here, if you see this, what's this? This is the cast shadow or the shadow of the ball that is falling on the table. So it's quite dark over here at the point of contact. It's starting near the table. Very, very dark. Yes, but this dark shading is gradually becoming middle tone and then it's becoming light tone. Also, if you look at the wall, the right side of the wall is at the side where the light is. It could be sunlight or tube light. So right side of the wall is lighter and then slightly middle tone and a bit of dark tone over here. But the exact opposite side light is not reaching. So over here it's very, very dark. Can you see this? It's almost like cast shadow in this part. Yes, and then slowly it becomes middle tone. So I want you to keep this picture in mind. We are going to do a 3D shading. Alright. So now we want to draw a ball. We won't draw with HB pencil. We draw with 2B pencil because 2B will be more smoother as compared to HB. We want to draw a freehand ball. Yes, we don't have to worry about perfection. When we want too much of perfection, we have these kind of tools also. But we want to now try to learn with our own hand. So even if you don't get a perfect ball today, it's absolutely fine. You have to get the best possible ball that you can get. So how do we do? I take a 2B pencil. If you don't have 2B, then 3B or 4B is also fine. And I start moving my hand round and round with a very, very light touch. I'm making the elbow movement there. And I'm going as lightly as I can. And I'm continuously going round and round. Not stopping. At least 15 times you may do this. And after you're done around 15-16 times, then you stop. I'm not pressing hard. I'm just going lightly, loosely, round and round and round and round. Now I stop. There are multiple layers there, multiple layers of circles. Out of these multiple layers, a good one will emerge. A good circle will emerge. You will be able to see it. Yes, like somewhere over here. It looks better. So that one you are going to pick and make it darker. But again, even if it's not too perfect, you don't have to worry. Perfection will come gradually. All of this, the testing and this ball, everything that we are doing is a part of shading exercise. And you need to exercise regularly. When you start exercising on a regular basis, the ball shape will improve, shading will improve because your hand will become more flexible. Yes, I found a good circle, not a perfect circle. My circle is nowhere near perfect, but I feel what I got here is a good one. So that I outlined darkly. But again, I didn't go suddenly. I gradually picked the good outline and I made it darker. Now we want this ball to sit on the table. So slowly I put a table line. Yes, once you have the table line, you're going to take your eraser and you're going to remove the table line which is inside the ball, because ball is in front. The table line will be hidden inside the ball, and whatever extra rings that you've got, yes, those you can erase off. Then you keep only the main dark outline of your ball. So I'm just doing a bit of cleaning. If the main outline gets erased, you can just do it again. So here I've made it as clean as I can make. Now we are going to start shading. We are going to shade it with 2B pencil. We will not do HB pencil anywhere, because HB is a very light and a hard pencil. So it's go in a sequence from 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6. But if you don't have 3, 5, then 2, 4, 6. But very first, before we shade, we need to know where is the light source. Yes, so where was the light source in that picture? Right upper corner. So up here I am just putting a small drawing of sun, or you can just write light. You don't have to worry about a perfect drawing of sun. This is just indicating that the light is coming from here. So if light is entering like this, it will create a highlight in this part, and the shadow will come in the exact opposite side. So with the 2B pencil and with a very light touch, light drawing, I am making an oval shape. We don't want to make it dark, because we never outline a highlight, but I am just drawing this shape so that you know this is the highlight area, and we don't want to put any shading inside the highlight. Yes, and with the same 2B pencil, you are going to do slanting scribble, slanting in this direction like this. Yes, but with a very light touch, and only one layer. Why? Because after the highlight is blank white or shiny white. After highlight will come light tone. After light tone will come the middle tone. Yes, so light tone ends in the middle, and then the middle tone starts there. Then comes the dark tone and all the other shadows. So with single layer and slanting direction, light touch. Three things here: light touch, slanting direction, and single layer will give you the light tone of your 2B pencil. If you overlap again, do multiple layers, then it will become darker. Yes, light overlap is still okay, but if you do too much, then it will become very dark. Now this light tone has to stop in the middle, because in the middle we need to start the middle tone. So we stop here. But when I stop, if you notice very carefully, have I stopped in a straight line or a horizontal line? No, you will see a curve like shape, because the ball is all curvy, so the shadings will end in a curvy shape. Yeah, so this was 2B pencil. I did light tone of 2B pencil. Now we have to change the pencil. We have to go to the next higher pencil. So after 2B, in my box there is 4B. But if you have 3B, you can use 3B also. So I picked up my 4B pencil. Now you have to check properly. Yes, if you just randomly pick up, you may pick up a wrong pencil. So you pick and read the label. Yes, so this is 4B. So now we want to do the middle tone. This is 4B pencil here. This is the middle tone of 4B. This shading I want, but we won't start at the end of the 2B. We have to slightly overlap on the 2B first, so that there is blending and friendship between 2B and 4B. So I am overlapping one only direction, which is the slanting. Yes, you overlap. After you overlap, you are going to come further down. Remember, middle tone is not single layer. When you are doing middle tone with whichever pencil, you have to do many layers. And for dark tone, even more. Yes. So again, here I am trying to follow a curve like shape. Dark tone comes almost on the edge. So till you reach the edge, you are going to do the middle tone, and you are going to do lots of it. Yes, otherwise it will look light. So I am applying more layers and layers, but when I am applying layers, I am not pressing hard, and I am seeing a transition from white or no shading to the light and the middle and the medium. Yes, So slowly it increases in darkness. All of a sudden we can't put a dark shade in the middle, and all of a sudden you can't do any vertical or horizontal scribble. It has to be all in the same direction. Yeah, so I did my middle tone also. After my middle tone is done, then I pick up the next higher pencil. It could be 6B or 8B. So now dark tone is going to come all around, but before we apply the dark tone, we want to do the reflected light or the bounce light. So I will draw a slice like shape to separate that layer, otherwise the entire thing may get covered with the dark tone. So light tone was somewhere over here. So with the 6B pencil or 8B pencil is the pencil that you're going to use for your dark tone. So I picked up that only pencil, and with that first I am separating out a slice. Yes, if you see this, a very thin slice. It's not outside the ball, it's inside the ball. So in this slice I will not be applying any color. Yes, then the dark tone comes with this pencil 6B or 8B. You start first by overlapping on the previous pencil shading. Overlap is very important so that there is smooth blending. So I'm overlapping. But when you are coming down, as you come closer to this bounce light slice, if you continue slanting scribble, then it may break or cut the slice. So the best way is, when you are coming near the outline and near the slice, you follow the shape of the ball, follow the shape of the slice. I want to do dark tone with the 6B pencil or 8B pencil, but I will not press too hard. I will create the darkness with multiple layers. Yes, don't rush here to do too fast. You have to go slow. Small scribbles best way, because you will be in control. If you try to do full, you may lose control and break the ball. So do smaller size. Dark tone is maximum layers, multiple layers. Yes, it's still not dark. I have a 6B pencil, so darkness of 6B I am looking over here. Yeah, so this is what I am going to take. Curvy. Where all dark tone is, dark tone starts somewhere up here, and like a crescent moon it ends till here. So I'm going to build more darkness. Yes, to build it takes time. You don't have to rush, or if you press too hard you will get it in 1 second, but that hard pencil mark will look like a crack. So you have to avoid that. Just keep on scribbling multiple times. And the dark tone should gradually enter into middle tone. It should not be separated, like after dark immediately too light should not come. Yes, so I am adding a little bit extra there so that there is no sudden break. So dark tone is also done. At this stage we stop with the pencil shading, because now we want to blend it and make it smooth. So you can take any handkerchief. Yes, small handkerchief. You don't need a big towel or tissue paper. A simple ordinary cotton handkerchief. Fold it well when you come to the smooth part. So to blend, you touch the smooth part first at the highlight area. With gentle touch you are going to massage. You go round. Watch my hand movement. Now I am going curvy because I want the ball to be smooth. I went along till the dark tone and then do a complete circle and leave it. You don't want to overdo it. Why? Now it's all spreading, but if you keep on overdoing, the graphite powder which has come on your handkerchief will go in all the other places of light tone that we don't want. So we come in a curve and do 1 or 2 circle so that the outlines also become smooth. Yes, and all the colors blend. Now if you notice over here where we had drawn the slice, it has also got covered and it's looking dull. That's how we want it. The bounce light or reflected light is light, but it is dull. So that dullness has automatically come, but the highlight got covered. So then you take your eraser and go in that space, and in an oval shape you are going to erase to remove the highlight. Yes, you got an highlight. Shape it well with your eraser. If you feel it's looking too bright or too sharp, then again you can take a clean side of your handkerchief and just move over it one time. So moving over it one time will make it softer and smoother. Okay, so the ball here is ready, but still the 3D effect is missing. So we need to put the shadow and the background color for the 3D effect. So whichever is your biggest number pencil, whether it is 8B or 10B, that pencil you pick up and you're going to start with the shadow first. So shadow has certain rules. Number one rule is that it will stick to the object, outline the object, and when it is outlining the object, it's darker there, but gradually the darkness will fade away. So I'm sticking to the object here, even the table part. Yes. And now I need to know what is the shape of the shadow, in which direction it is bending. So it's coming like this, light is coming like this, so shadow will come on the slanting side. And since it's a ball, shadow will be oval. So with the same big 10B pencil, I am doing a very light touch to put a outline so that I know the shape. But when you are doing the shape, you don't have to make it too dark, because outlines of the shadow is never dark. You just put a light one to guide you. And then I am going to scribble more to make a darker shadow first. So when I am scribbling, if you notice, I am following the shape of the ball, because you don't want to break it. In fact, when you are doing this dark shading, you have a second chance to fix the shape of the ball. Anywhere if the shape of the ball is not good, you can overlap with the dark color and fix it. Notice how from one edge of the table, it's going till the other edge there. Yes, I am pressing hard also to get a lot of darkness. So in the cast shadow, you can press to get more darkness, but then gradually release the pressure, because your dark tone has to enter into middle tone smoothly. Yes, we don't want a sharp cut or a sharp line of dark tone. So I am doing the middle tone of 10B pencil, this middle tone. So with gentle touch I am scribbling. First I pressed hard to get a very very dark color. Now with gentle touch I am scribbling, and this dark tone will gradually enter into light tone. So what is light tone? Light tone is just a single layer. So I do single layer here and I leave it. If your middle tone is not looking like a proper middle tone, then you can add extra layer there. Yes, and the shadow is ready there. Even after the shadow is ready, it still does not pop. The ball still does not pop, because the background is missing. So we are going to work on the background, but like this we will not fill in the background. We will turn it around so that our hand does not mess with the ball or the shadow. Now again the same pencil I am using. If there are two sides of the wall where sunlight is, that side of the wall will be lighter and the other side or the opposite side will be slightly darker. Yes, so with the same 10B or 8B pencil, I am going to add the darkness of the wall, but this part of the wall where sunlight is not reaching is very very dark. Yes, because it's going behind the ball. So I am going to build the darkness all around the ball and gradually fade it off as per the light. So if you are noticing, I am trying to outline the ball. In fact, here if anywhere you felt your shape was not good, you can overlap it with your dark pencil to fix the shape. Like here I felt there's too much bulge on the ball, so I overlap that extra bulge with the dark pencil. Yes, so almost outlined the whole thing. Now I want to add a little bit of extra darkness touching the ball. So when you are near the ball, you must always follow the shape of the ball when you are scribbling. Yes, I am following the shape of the ball. When you are near the table, you follow the shape of the table. You don't want to break anything. Yes, don't leave white gaps like this. You have to fill in, fill in, fill in. Outline of the ball should be nice, dark and crisp. It should not be light, it should not be crooked, because if the outline is crooked and broken, then the entire ball will look damaged. Yes, I'm building on the darkness around the ball. But once you are a little bit away from the ball, then you do horizontal scribbles. But these horizontal scribbles are again not very big. If you do big scribbles, it may break the ball. So you're doing smaller scribbles. Yes, smaller scribbles. Horizontal, 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 horizontal. Yes, after some horizontal scribbles is done, then you'll do vertical scribbles also, starting near the ball, near the dark area, on the dark area also, and then you're coming out. Yes, if you're noticing, I'm doing smaller scribbles and not too big scribbles, because big scribbles may go out of control. So with horizontal vertical lines, I'm creating a crisscross mesh like pattern. So when you have a rough mesh like pattern, that roughness will complement the smoothness of the ball, and the ball will look more smoother. Yes, more dark in the corner there, and gradually it fades off. So this is the side of the ball where sunlight is not reaching. Now I go to the other side where sunlight is there. So it will be lighter, but yet down here behind the ball it will appear slightly darker. So I'm adding that darkness. It will be not as thick or as dark as the opposite side, but there is still some darkness. Yes. Near the ball, be very careful. You can do shape of the ball. If you feel you may risk it or break it. And then away from the ball you are doing horizontal scribbles. Do not break the table. On table we are not putting any light. We are allowing the table to stay plain like a shiny table. Yes, horizontal done. Then you do vertical also. This corner you want to make it slightly darker. If there is a white gap here, you fill in. Yes, we want transition of shadows and not sudden gap or break. Yes, like this, entire wall is finished. Yes, and the ball gets a nice 3D pop. So I want you to try this and try twice. One first time you may not get the pressure or the direction correct, but you have to take it as a homework and do again, because it will get better and better with practice. All this is exercise. Today we did just one ball because it is first time you are doing the shading, but next class we may do the other shapes like cone, cylinder, cube. Yes, and also I will be putting notes on the group where I will be mentioning about light source, highlight, light tone, middle tone, all the things that you have to keep in mind. Yes, so you copy the notes from the picture that I have shared on the group. Alright, so when you complete this exercise, please share your pictures for feedback. Bye bye for today. See you later in another class.